Never let anybody see you sweat.
So I was born in New York City, and I lived there until I was 8 years old. I realized that I was a much better talker than I was a listener. I don't know what to say, I just don't like what you're saying.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I ended up going to law school at Georgetown, and I was a prosecutor for Janet Reno. I loved it because it was so raw. Were you cheating on her?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All rise.
Our show will be a mixture of education, I think you're misreading the law a little bit, and entertainment. My main goal is justice and the law. That's been my legacy, and the legacy I hope to continue into the future with the show.
Eddie Kent claims his student film was ruined by the interfering owner of the campsite he rented. Sarah Rampton says the underage drinking and rowdiness of the young cast was the reason she yelled cut.
Okay, Mr. Kent, you're suing Ms. Rampton's business for $1,395 that you say you are out as a result of her breaching a contract.
Yes,
okay,
Your Honor.
talk to me. What was going on here?
Well, Your Honor, I had an agreement with the defendant, and we had reserved the campground for 2 days.
In order to do what?
I was filming a horror film for my grad school.
Okay, and you're getting a graduate degree in?
I'm getting a graduate degree in film. It was my final film project for the school
Okay.
year. It was very important that I get this done.
Right.
And I had an agreement with Sarah,
Okay.
and she said we were able to have the campground reserved from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. on
Okay.
Saturday,
Okay.
but our production was cut short.
Why was it cut short?
It was cut short because she comes over for some reason. She just decides to shut it down.
I don't understand. She comes on Saturday night?
Well, yeah. So when we got to the campground, nobody was there. You know, we go to the office. We check to see if any of the employees are there. Nobody's there. There's a note saying, you know, call this number if you need anything. We call
Okay.
the number. There's nobody's answering the phone.
Okay.
So we just decided to take matters into our own hands.
Your Honor.
Hold on one second. It's not your turn. Go ahead.
We decided to take matters into our own hands and, you know, just start setting up where the site that we were supposed to film.
Was it your understanding that somebody would be there?
Yes, they said they would both be there, the campground manager and the caretaker.
Okay. And who is the campground manager and who is the campground caretaker?
I'm the owner.
Who's
Sarah
the manager?
Rampton. The caretaker is Mr. Kindergarten.
The caretaker is, okay, you're the owner, he's the caretaker. Your understanding, were you supposed to be there, or was he supposed to be there when these guys?
I was supposed to be there, but I was called away on an emergency.
Okay.
And so I met the kindergarten in charge. He's been with me for 15 years and is extremely reliable and knows how the camp works.
When you say you left him in charge, did you tell him to be at the site because right now the campground is closed, right? Like it's not open yet.
No, it's closed for the winter. and it
Closed for the
only
winter. You
opens
don't
in
open
June.
until like when these kids were gonna when this young man was going to shoot there. You were letting them shoot there because the campground was closed, and I presume you paid. What did you pay in order for the privilege to tape there?
Yeah, I paid a $150 for the 2 days.
Okay. You weren't going to be there, but then he wasn't there, according to them.
Well, he was called away in an emergency.
Oh,
too.
everybody had an emergency. All right. So you set up, and what happened?
So we set up and we were getting ready to film the campfire scene. It's the most important scene of the movie, right? And she comes and she just shuts it all down.
How does she shut it down? I don't get it.
She says you kids are drinking alcohol and you're using firewood that's not appropriate for the campsite, even though the caretaker said, you know, there's no firewood available. You have to go to the hardware store. We have no idea where the hardware store is, so we go and we grab some twigs in the forest and we set up a campsite. So, you know, we
Okay, I don't know where you said it and how you said it, but if you were going there to tape this very, very important, incredibly important, most important scene, why didn't you
Yes.
already have firewood with you?
Well, they said they would have provided the firewood.
Stop, that's what I need. So who said to you, we will provide the firewood? Who said that to you?
The owner.
She told you that when and how?
Oh, she told us over the phone, you know, that there was going to be firewood there that we could purchase. And
Okay.
so we just came under the presumption that
Right,
we could
and then
purchase the
what
firewood.
happened? There was a phone number for the caretaker, and did you call it and talk to him?
We called the phone several times, but there was no answer, Jan.
Okay. So did you ever have a conversation with the caretaker and say, is there firewood for us here to buy?
We did. Eventually he shows up and he says, you know, there's no firewood here, so you're gonna have to go somewhere else to get the firewood.
Okay, and then instead of doing that, what did you guys do?
Well, we go and we grab the sticks and twigs in the forest, you know. It is the appropriate
Where did you
firewood.
put it?
We put it in the fire pit.
Okay. You get there at 8:30 when your emergency's over and they're in the middle of filming. Why, according to him, you were shutting them down?
Absolutely.
Why?
Oh, the behavior was disgraceful and
What were they
dangerous.
doing?
They were running around all over the place.
Well, I'm sorry,
I mean,
they're filming
they were
a movie.
They were supposed to be filming a movie.
I'm sorry, but running around all over the place may be part of filming the movie.
No, people
Yes,
were
Your Honor.
wondering.
Hold on, I'm not
Excuse
talking
me.
to you, and now I'm talking to her. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. People were wandering all over the place, going into the darkness, drinking alcohol. There were kids under 17 years old.
Your Honor, the
I didn't
alcohol
want
was-
On a second, I will give you a chance to respond, but first I have to hear what she's saying.
Thank you.
Go on.
I didn't want to be liable for underage drinking on my premises.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
How do you know that there was underage drinking?
Because there were beer cans littered all over
How
the
do
place.
you know how old the people are?
They looked extremely young.
So you guessed.
Of
Because they all
course.
look young to us, right?
Well, I did
The older
guess.
we get, the younger everybody looks.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Eddie Kent, who blames Sarah Rampton for ruining his student film.
I think they were a danger to other kids and to anybody else who was there. The campground's completely shut
How
down.
do you know that there was underage drinking?
Because there were beer cans littered all over
How
the
do
place.
you know how old the people are?
They looked extremely young.
So you guessed.
Of
Because they all
course.
look young to us, right?
Well, I did
The older
guess.
we get, the younger everybody looks.
Absolutely.
Right, but then you're like, wait, you're 28? Like, you have no idea how old they are. So you guessed that there was underage drinking.
Yes.
Okay, why else did you shut them down? Any other reasons?
They were using firewood that they weren't supposed to. They were supposed to buy the firewood
Buy it
from
where?
me.
Did you tell him that it would be available for him to
Yes,
buy
I
from
need to
you?
get it
No,
from
Your
my
Honor.
caretaker.
Just a second. Did you tell him that it would be available to buy at your campground?
Yes,
Yep.
I did.
Okay, was it?
Well, my caretaker was in charge of that.
Caretaker, it's your moment to shine. May I hear from you, Mr. Kindergarten? Please stand up. Come forward. Thank you. Was there firewood to purchase at the campground?
No, there was not.
Okay, so you tell them there's firewood to purchase. Don't worry. Then there's not. That sounds like you breached before they breached. Can I ask you something? How old are you?
I'm 21.
All right, so you're filming. You know you have a contract that takes you till 10. She comes in. She's rather stern.
Yes.
And she tells you what?
She tells me, you have to wrap all of this up. You have to leave now. Everybody has to go.
And you're in the middle of filming the scene.
I'm in the middle of filming the most important scene that's gonna make the entire movie what it is.
And so what do you do when she says you have to go?
Well, I'm kind of taken aback because, you know, we still have 2 hours left to film. We have 2 scenes left, and we haven't even gotten to the other part of the campsite.
So
where
do you wrap it up?
we pack up all our stuff and we go, and it actually cost us a lot of money because we have to do filming for the next day. We have to pay the actors an extra money. We have to pay the...
But weren't those actors going to be in the film the next day anyway?
Yes, but...
If they were, then where
had to pay for
were
the
they
ho-
sleeping?
We had to pay
Because
for
you're
the
suing for the cost of the hotel rooms, but those actors were in the film the next day anyway. So, in other words, how did it really cost you the cost of the hotel rooms if they were going to be there anyway the next day?
The next day was just for collateral. We just needed, just in case. You know, we didn't finish everything we needed to finish.
So you booked all those hotels that night?
Yeah, that night.
Who's your witness?
This is my witness. This is Amber, and she's
Come on up,
my
Amber.
producer.
Hi, Your Honor.
How can you elucidate what's going on here? Were you there on the scene when this happened?
Yes, I'm co-producer.
Okay. And so she comes in, and what does she say and do?
She comes in very, very angry, accusing us of underage drinking, which
Was
is
there underage
not
drinking?
True. No, the beer cans that you're talking about were actually props. Yes, they were beer, but we were not drinking them. No one on set was drinking them.
Nobody was drinking.
Nobody was drinking. And the running around was in the scene, which you
Right.
can see in the script.
So what ends up happening? Tell me, you come back the next day, right?
We have to.
Right. So you come back the next day, and then do you shoot the scene that was so valuable to you?
Well, we weren't able to shoot the climax of the scene because it was raining. We weren't able to make a campfire due to the climate.
Did you bring appropriate firewood the next day?
Well, we couldn't have it. There was no firewood to be available because it was all wet, you know?
It started raining at 3 p.m. that day, so we knew that we weren't.
So did you ever tape the campfire scene?
Yeah, we ended up taping it on the school campus with
candles.
Like makeshift nighttime in a classroom, candles, flashlights, and stuff like that. And it doesn't even compare to the real thing.
Not at all.
So it definitely messed up.
But you couldn't find another campfire to,
Not with the budget. We were already over budget.
We had to go out of pocket to pay for all this extra fees.
Who had that kind of cash that night to buy all these hotel rooms? You're suing for $1,395.
Yes. I went out of pocket, and she went out of pocket too. We both chipped in a little bit because it means a lot to us, this film.
Yeah.
And it was very important that we get it done.
Ms. Rampton, I'm trying to understand your philosophy, Ms. Rampton. When you come in, you really started acting like a den mother in charge of things because what? Because you saw beer cans and people running around, but they were making a film.
You're not supposed to have real alcohol on set.
Did you ever tell them that?
No.
Okay. So they have beer cans, and according to them, nobody's drinking. Did you see anybody drinking?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah? How many people did you see actually drinking?
About 6 or 7 of the actors.
And were they in the middle of a scene?
No, they were wandering off into the bushes and drinking and laughing.
Your Honor, she's obviously trying to swindle her way out of not paying this money.
Listen, I've had so many students come and work on my property, and
how many students, talk to me, not him, how many students have used your property for filming?
Oh, I've had about 20 groups of students over the years.
That many? All
Yeah,
right.
and I've never had a problem like this.
Okay. So you tell them to shut down, and do you tell them don't come back tomorrow, or you let them come back tomorrow?
No, I let them come back tomorrow, but I shut them down because they had too much work to do and they were never going to accomplish it. They were had 25 more lines in the first scene. They had 2 more scenes to shoot. They had to go over to the other side of the campground.
You don't know how long
Wait. Don't talk to her directly.
Coming up.
Well, did you waste the beer, or did you drink it after you left?
I think we just poured it out at that point.
Poured it out?
Well, we went.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that one, actually.
This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Eddie Kent, who blames Sarah Rampton for ruining his student film.
How do you know how long that takes them to do? If they had until 10, what was your theory? That you are predicting how long it's going to take?
I'm a savvy woman. I can understand how, we have tents pitched in the campsite. I know how long it takes to put them up and take them down. I know how long it takes to put out craft services, which Mr. Kindergarten did, and put out the garbage pails. I'm aware of the time.
But if he rented until 10, he can do his job after 10. That's not like you telling them wrap it up because you guys are taking too long because there's 25 more lines. That sounds like
And
you're
it's
getting
also
into
because
stuff. I'm not done speaking. It sounds like you're getting to
Excuse
stuff
me.
that is none of your business. It's not like you got there at 10 and they weren't wrapping it up and you told them you need to wrap it up. You got there an hour and a half before they need to wrap it up. Mm-hmm. By the way, was there a fire? Did they cause a fire, or was the fire just inside the pit?
The fire was inside the pit. With
Okay, and if you
illegal
tell them that
twigs.
there's going to be appropriate firewood, and then Mr. Kindergarten tells us we're all out of firewood, then
Well,
how is this something that they did evil? Was anybody drinking?
No.
No, Your Honor.
That's
Not at all.
No, Your Honor.
I mean, come on.
The drinks were used as props, solely for
Well,
props.
they were just props, but they're there, right? Like
They were there, but they were not being consumed.
Were they drinking after things got called down?
We didn't have time. We were ushered away.
Okay. Well, did you waste the beer, or did you drink it after you left?
I think we just poured it out at that point.
Poured it out.
Well, we went.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that one, actually.
I probably had a bit in the car.
Coming up.
And open or not open?
Not open.
Okay, how are you filming the scene with it closed, though?
When the camera was rolling around the fire pit, beers were open, yes.
This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Eddie Kent, who blames Sarah Rampton for ruining his student film.
Did you really pour it out? I can't imagine you poured it out.
Well, you know, I'm 21, so you know it's not a problem for me to drink. You know?
How old were the other people that were on there? Was there anybody 17 on there?
No.
No, not 17, no.
So
everybody was 18 and up. But
18 and up.
The only people that had alcohol in their hand was over the age of 21.
Okay. And open or not open?
Not open.
Okay, how are you filming the scene with it closed, though?
When the camera was rolling around the fire pit, beers were open, yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But they weren't, like, we weren't just, like, holding them.
Right, but when you're filming, isn't the point of the prop in the hand to drink it?
Yeah, but
then how is it that you're telling me that nobody was drinking?
I misunderstood. Like, I thought you were saying, like, oh, were you guys just drinking or like?
No, I'm asking you, in the scene, were they not drinking?
Yeah, they were drinking in the scene.
But no one over the age. Everyone was 21 and over who was drinking.
Who had a beer in their hand and was
Yes.
drinking. Okay. All right, let me see the receipts for the hotel rooms. Explain to me again how these people were not already going to be there the next day to film? Because you expected to finish the entire film that night?
Yeah, and we expected to finish the film with a reservation for Saturday.
Right.
Some people were from out of town, so we didn't originally need to have hotels for them, but we did because we had to refilm the next day, the fire scene. That was going to be at nighttime, but then it was raining, so we couldn't.
What is it you're suing for? You paid $895 for the hotel rooms?
$895 for the hotel rooms and an extra $100 for each 5 of the actors that had to come in for an extra day.
So another $500 over that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Milian's verdict when Justice for the People returns. This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian.
I don't know that you had enough evidence, Ms. Rampton, to shut the thing down. And there's no question you shut it down. You're very proud of it. You walked in, you saw a bunch of students, you saw them, they were drinking, going into the bushes. Was anybody going into the bushes? Into the forest?
To use the bathroom with a flashlight.
To use the bathroom with a flashlight because there was no running water and no electricity. But you knew that.
We did.
We did.
Right. You know, if you were there all day, did you see the beer props, Mr. Kindergarten?
I did.
Okay, and did you have some alarm over that?
I mean, they were telling me that that's not real beer. That's a fake beer container. And
John, we didn't say anything of the sort.
What's a fake beer?
You can buy them, yes.
What? Okay.
You ever have ginger
Where,
beer?
are they available at your place? Because the firewood wasn't, so. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think you had any right to shut them down that night, and I'm finding in favor of the plaintiffs in this case.
That's really unfair.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mom.
and
You know what?
you're gonna pay them
Quiet.
$1,395. That's my verdict.
All rise.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $1,395.
You
Quiet.
spoiled it for everybody else.
You are a
spoiled
wisp
it
of
for
a
all
woman
the
and
other
You've had your
students
day
that
in
are gonna
court.
come
You've had
here.
your day in court. Exit this way, please. Grab all of your belongings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Watch out, sir.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.